My name is Graham Parker, the HooF GP, and there's something wrong with this cow's back right foot. Although, to be honest, from here it looks pretty much perfect. So let's get it in the air and see exactly what's wrong with this foot. This is the HooF GP. So it is her back right foot that's sore, but being the habitual creature that I am, I start off with her back left foot because we are going to trim all 4 feet because she's in the crush and we might as well give them a good check over. Luckily for her and for me though, it's a very simple and straightforward trim. She just needed a small amount of rebalancing and a nice deep model before we were able to say that this foot was done. Sometimes, as we all know, it's pretty obvious what the problem is. In this case, it's not. So as you can see, if we circle around the foot here, it looks pretty much perfect, but she is definitely sore on it. So there's obviously an issue, unless of course it's something with her leg, in which case there's nothing wrong with her foot. But we will find out either way. The length is actually pretty good, to be honest. It needs a little bit of a shorten, but it looks like there's a mark here on her white line. To everyone watching this video, I know you've seen the title and the thumbnail, so to you, it maybe was obvious. Okay, so it maybe wasn't obvious, but it definitely is now. That piece of metal should not be there, just for clarification. But there is still a puncture mark in her white line, and that is still a concern, even though there's obviously a piece of metal in her foot, which again shouldn't be there. Time for the gloves to come off, quite literally. Now I need to model this area out anyway, to be honest, so I'll just model out round about this. So all of this hoof that I'm trimming away right now flexes, and obviously metal does not flex. So if we actually trim this away, this could be a little learning exercise, couldn't it? We could look and see how high up this piece of metal is sticking. So it might look, or in fact it was completely level with the base of the hoof when we first started trimming, but as you can see, but as you'll see when I move the camera around, it definitely isn't now. I'm really not sure what it is. Just look how much that sticks out of the sole now. I realise we've trimmed it away, but that's a hard point. The sole is soft, so everything surrounding this piece of metal is soft. So it would create a hard point, which creates pain. Weirdly, really weirdly, I actually think I know what this is now. And we've pulled one of these out of a foot before. If it is what it is, I'll be very, very shocked. Right, come on boys, we've got Kevin and we've got Craig here. Now I think I know what it is. I'm going to ask them if they know what it is. Don't say your answers yet.
A blade off the grinder.
So off a trimming grinder?
Yeah.
Do you think it is?
Well, I thought it was a hoof trimming knife.
I think Craig's right. I think it's the hook from a trimming knife. Right, I'm going to try and cut it out with one go. I can go right around the back of it. I kind of want to leave it in, and we could do this is weird. We could do bids for charity, couldn't we? I'm going to leave that in there. That is definitely the end of somebody's trimming knife. Now I just want to point out, now that is definitely not the end of one of our hoof knives. This happened at a different farm from us about 1.5 years ago, and it turned out that some of the staff there had been snapping the end of the hoof trimming knives off. So as you can see, they're not very good for cutting through bags because of that hook. So they were snapping them off and leaving them on the ground, and it looks like something similar's happened here. Anyway, let's get her trimmed up and then we'll wash that off and see what we're going to do with it. Let's hope it hasn't done any damage, which to be honest I don't think it has. Although cutting round about it damaged the blade of my other knife, as you can see. I am going to investigate this little spot just to be sure. When we see little spots like this, we regularly test them with a device called HooF testers, and in this case she didn't react, but we still trimmed out this problem because we didn't want it to turn into anything that would cause pain. Yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. As you can see, there's a tiny bit of bruising there, but it's almost been eliminated by this modelling. So that's her good to go, and I'm pretty glad I'm pretty sure she'll be glad that she doesn't have a hoof trimming knife stuck in her foot anymore. Again, which didn't belong to the HooF GP. And just like that, we've pulled something else unusual out of a cow's hoof. This has been the HooF GP. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and thank you to that cow for being so patient. Now to find that knife and glue the end of it back on. Catch you later for now, folks. Bye.